Hello, everyone out there, and welcome to a very spooky edition of the Triple Threat Podcast. We're feeling very festive and seasonable over here today, so we're going to have a Halloween-themed episode for you. I'm going to turn it over now to the three brothers Vaughn. With me here now is the master of sound effects, William Vaughn. How are you, William?
I am doing very well today.
Well,
That's pretty scary.
yeah, that's good.
That is pretty scary. Yeah.
Spooky.
Did I scare you?
Did I scare you?
And on the other coast, the spooky East Coast. And with a rock show happening in the background. I believe it's Leonard Skinner. We have the other two Vaughn boys. How you doing over there, boys?
Good evening.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
There we go.
Okay.
You just took my impression, Matt. Good job.
I gave you the evening.
I don't
That's
have
it.
a no. Oh, okay.
That's yours.
With respect to Bela Lugosi, of course.
Talking about horror movies this week.
That, of course, being Alex Vaughn and
Yep.
Matt Vaughn over there. Spooky East.
Wish I had a theremin.
Oh, I forgot my theremin.
You forgot your theremin?
Yeah, damn it.
Well, I guess that's the way it goes.
We do have the accordion
Yeah.
if we need it.
Yeah, we have Weird Al on standby.
I forgot my theremin and my keytar.
We figured it is the middle of October, and not only is the World Series taking place, but it's a good time of year to catch up on some delightfully, frightfully, spitefully, but not Bud Lightfully movies of the horror variety. So if you like a scare, a spook, a squeal, a creep, a creak, a tingle, a dingle,
You done?
I have
Some
to be
cases you should go consult your doctor immediately, but
Yeah.
in other cases,
It is a side effect of I don't know, Percocet. Well,
don't type that into WebMD.
yeah, don't. If
You
you
got
have
a dingle and a tingle and
and a squeal and a chill and a spill, if
you have leprosy.
you're creepy and you're kooky, mysteriously yuki.
It just comes up Ebola. That's all it is.
That's
Ebola.
true. We actually have like a real life, and they actually did make a movie about Ebola. I don't know if it was a horror movie. It was more of a thriller. Outbreak.
Outbreak.
One where the monkey peed in the river.
Why would you do that, monkey? That was Dustin Hoffman, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Does he play the
Dustin
monkey?
Hoffman played the monkey?
Yeah, it was like a Roddy McDowell throwback.
We're both really proud of that.
Yeah,
we
with
were.
respect to Roddy McDowell.
It's funny because it's unlikely.
Arch. Do we hit the music or what?
And
Yep.
and here's the music. Yes, we
Cold
remembered.
opens are
Okay.
so tight.
All right, music in 3, 2, 1, 2, boom.
One.
All right.
We're back!
I love that sound.
We established who was opening the show. We didn't establish who would take it back from the.
Right? I was like, okay.
Which one of y'all is throwing to the cold open? 0 for 2,
folks,
guys.
Folks,
0
you're,
for 2.
like, once again, you're getting what you pay for. The Triple Threat Podcast. We can do this show for
Quality
free
abound.
only from our help with the people at Amazon. Go to Amazon.com. Use the Triple Threat Podcast link. Not only will you get the same Amazon prices and the same shipping and the same great Amazon service, but they'll kick back a few bucks to the Triple Threat Podcast here. So
The link doesn't exist. The
we
limit does not
appreciate
exist.
the limit does not exist.
Nice, Mean Girl.
And that's how Caddy won the
It's pronounced
monthly
Katie.
thing.
It's spelled Katie. It's pronounced Katie.
Right, damn it.
Caddy won the what?
I don't know the mathlete What was the mathlete thing?
Oh yeah. Mean
Doesn't
Girls.
matter.
Well, okay, so Mean Girls.
That actually has a Halloween.
It does,
theme
yeah.
to
She was
it
an
in-
yeah.
in
She's
certain
like, what are you, a
cases.
dead bride?
She's a dead bride.
Ex-wife. She's ex-wife, and he says, "Love it." So what we've done here this week.
Yeah. We using that term loosely.
So we have a very good friend Ian Hanlon with us this week. Ian, thank you very much for joining us for that
Yes, welcome.
spectacularly spooky opening.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be here, guys.
Yeah,
Ian's a pretty good friend. I don't say he's a very good friend.
give him a 2 out of 6.
You're doing this on the air?
We said we'd talk about this later.
He's
Oh, God,
that is so
I
cold.
kid.
That's cold blooded.
Couldn't save it for the end of the show.
It's almost as cold as that open.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So Ian has been with the show before. Highest ratings we've gotten by far, record highs. Millions and
just off the
millions
charts.
upon trillions of people listen to those shows. Tell all their friends, and
Very big in India.
very big in it. It's a good place to be big in. Is India?
Yes.
Especially from a distance. Am I right? Yeah. But Ian has a certain passion for film, a certain passion for a very specific type of film. I would wager.
Let's get into it.
Ian, what's the first horror movie you saw? Do you remember the first movie? It was somebody like your friend probably was like, "Ian, this is a scary movie. We're gonna watch this really scary movie." And you're like, okay. And like, what did you feel going into it? You're like,
The first time I ever really remember, I don't think it was the first. I know it wasn't the first scary movie I ever saw, but the first distinct memory I have of watching, like, yeah, man, horror movies was me and a friend Andrew McBride.
Yeah.
Had a sleepover at his house, and we rented all of the Puppet Master movies. Which
"Ooh,
are,
how many are there?"
I think there's like 8. They drop off pretty steeply after the first one.
Pup Master 6, not as good as Pup Master 3.
They're really, really not good. But we rented all of them, and we burned through them all in like one night.
That's what you can do when you're a kid, man. Probably just fueled by chips and pop too all night.
But partway through the marathon, we're in his parents' basement, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh no! We're in the dark basement, and all of a sudden, we're down there by ourselves, and all of a sudden, a light in the other room, in like the furnace room, just flicks on. Out of nowhere. Oh. And we were like, oh man, what's going on?
Is it the Puppet Master?
And we investigated with a steak knife and a drumstick. Those are the 2 available weapons to defend ourselves.
KFC drumstick, not an actual.
I was gonna say like a chicken leg or like an actual music instrument.
No, it was
I
actually
will choke you to
ice
death
cream.
with this chicken leg, sir.
It was the ice cream. It was
Or
the one
ma'am.
with the. It was the one with the chocolate in the middle.
Oh my god!
Back it off,
so
I'm loaded
good.
with trans fats.
One time they put extra chocolate in the nub and then advertise it for months.
And they made a huge deal. And then they
They
had
were
like a
so
chocolate
happy
peanut
about
butter
it.
one, and they
Oh
had
my god!
remember that.
No
That's
greater
crazy with the
combination.
drumsticks.
Cornettos, I believe they're called.
Cornettos. Speaking of cornettos,
I think they're called cornettos.
our good friend
Jim
Edgar
Cornetto.
Edgar Wright with his Cornetto trilogy.
Our good friend.
Shaun of the Dead. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. Good throwback.
He's
to
a nicer
Dawn of the
friend
Dead.
of mine than Ian Hanlon is. I'll tell you that.
Wow.
This is just a real.
That's so.
This is
I'm
my
feeling so mean.
my self-esteem is shriveling.
You know why you
I
feel
don't
so
even-
mean?
I don't mean it.
He's so nice to come on the show and help us out with our horror show, and you're just kicking the man while he's down.
I can't even defend myself.
That's our gimmick on this show. We have a guest like Ian, come on the show, it'll be a good time, and we're gonna verbally abuse him on the air.
Welcome to the
Berate
show,
him.
Ian. Why are you such a loser?
Why do you suck? Glad I'm in the same room with you, so I can punch you.
I feel like I'm on Mark Maron's podcast right now.
Ooh.
Mark
Maron,
on that
friend of the show.
podcast. I'm
like
just
Mark
like, ugh, I don't think this is very funny. Not the point.
I don't think I came off as funny.
Well, we always come off as funny. We're voted number
We always
one
come off as hilarious.
comedy
I get
podcast on
billions
on
of
iTunes.
tweets being like, "Hilarious, bro." That's all it says.
You know,
It
and
doesn't
you know
say what or where.
you know how we know we're so funny
Or
is 'cause
whom.
everybody rate and reviews this show.
It's
And if
true.
you don't
Yeah, we
rate
say
and
rate
review
review,
the show,
and every week the ratings and
if you
the
don't
reviews.
rate or review the show, you're actually not part of the cool gang.
Through the roof.
You're not a
Yeah.
cool guy.
It's the equivalent of stealing.
Yeah, it is.
Rate it well too. I mean, be honest, but give us 5 stars, and then in the comments say something weird.
Just be like 5 stars, but I faked 4 of them.
I had a giggle fit. Say something like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I had a fit of the laughs.
I had a fit of giggles.
So you know,
hilarious.
we like to
different
organize
people.
things on this show by lists.
Love, yeah. Some of us
And
do.
in the past, we have reviewed sport leagues and organized by team and division and conference.
NHL
and
9 stars.
reverse alphabetical order. That was a good one. What I thought would be a fun thing to do, and I've tasked my man Eye Candy. That's what I call him because he's so good looking.
God, that's the worst rap.
First and only time, that was terrible. That was really bad.
Very bad.
Eye Candy is the failed Apple product, by the way. That they released. It's a candy apple. It's the
Why
eye
would that
candy.
fail?
Oh my god.
Alex is dying. I've tasked Ian with making a list of horror movies from A to Z. So we have 26 horror movies here that we can at least bring up, and this should be good. So without further ado, Matthew, do you have like a scary? Do you have like an actual like Do you have a Wilhelm scream you can hit on your little that you can play here, like little like?
Yeah, Matt, keep
I think I got. Hold on, I think I got. I have like a witch cackle. I think.
Okay, let's hear it. Okay, there's a little Banjo Kazooie reference there too.
Here we go.
Grunchy the
Pretty
Witch.
good, actually.
Just gotta
That was
just
a
gotta
billion
press a
times
button.
better than I assumed it was going to be.
So, without further ado, we're going to get
You're
into.
getting really close to being anti-Semitic there, Will. I'm concerned.
I was hearing this
Without
myself.
further Jews, I mean, ugh.
I'm gonna have a matzo ball soup to
Better
relax.
Pump your brakes over there.
Like how he
buddy
took
boy.
Matt's joke and just made it so obvious. Yours is well put and subtle, and I'm just like, Jews!
All right, let's Jew it. A to Z of horror.
Apologies to all the Jewish listeners out there.
Starting with Ridley Scott's
Didn't the apple ball.
1979 classic Alien.
Oh my
Came
gosh,
from outer
Alien.
space.
In space, no one can hear you scream. It is most of the items on this list I think are worth watching. There's one or two where it's just like "Boo," but this one is
Yeah, you put a couple goofballs in there, but it's good.
Yeah.
Balances out. I like
but
it.
Alien is in a lot of ways the perfect haunted house movie because it gets it eliminates the problem that permeates almost all of them, which is why don't they just leave?
Because
Yeah.
literally
Why don't
Yeah,
they
they
just
can.
go away? There's nowhere to go, and it's really does an excellent job of building that atmosphere of being like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And just this dread of everything kind of looks like the alien, and the alien kind of looks like everything, and it's a little psychological stuff going on in there, and it's really a fantastic movie. I mean, Aliens is
And
a
then
lot
a
of fun.
dude's stomach blows open.
Yeah, John.
I like Alien a lot more than Aliens.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, and, yeah.
They're different movies. They're very different genres, of course.
Oh, very
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
I saw Alien for the first time just about a year ago. I'm not really one. I haven't really spent a lot of time with horror movies. I'm kind
Zero
of averse
CC.
to them.
You're afraid of Men in Black, so it's fine.
That was
no, I
me.
am not.
Well, yeah, I was
D'Onofrio's
afraid
just a
going
little
into it.
bit
Matt was
unsettling.
afraid after of Vincent D'Onofrio. He was
Still
dead
afraid of
before
Vincent
he was an alien.
D'Onofrio.
I was afraid of
And
Tommy Lee
Sixth Sense
Jones.
still scares the crap out of me, so.
But Alien was like a movie that I saw, and I knew about the chest burster a little bit. Spoilers for 1979 Alien. But the moment where it scuttled away, I yelled and shrieked, and it was glorious. It was like a very, it was like a perfect.
Was it
and
a
I was
year
watching.
ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was watching with people who had seen it before, and so they were very pleased with my reaction.
Yep.
But you watch that and you watch Aliens, and yeah, it is very different. But gosh, Alien is really good, like really good.
Yeah. And it's also like different directors, different kind of style and all that as well.
Yeah.
Aliens, of
sure
course,
there's
is
some
like
other-
4 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Alien,
And
especially
then the
if you're watching,
Titanic
like,
sinks
extended
partway
run, it's-
through, and then they're on
They're on Avatar after
Avatar.
that.
Not Avatar. Is that what it's called? No. What's it called?
Definitely didn't see that movie.
What's the planet in Avatar?
Pandora.
Yeah, that's what it is. Unobtainium. Anyway, sorry. I ruined it.
He didn't even bust out the thesaurus for that movie. Let me tell you. He's just
No,
like,
I know.
What's the
Unobtainium.
army called?
That's
bad guys.
That's first draft. That's first draft. Like, I'll fill that in later, and then just makes all it through. He's like, damn it.
Day one
No,
shooting.
there's nothing better.
No, we didn't pick him.
Unobtainium. What?
All right.
That movie was terrifying. Floating
Alien,
mountains.
fantastic
What if those
movie.
fell on you at any time? Oh my god, you'd be crushed to bits. You'd be liquefied.
be
Horrific. What's making them float? Oh my god.
Carbon.
Oh, okay.
Up next on the A to Z
Just
of horror.
one word.
No, like,
Shut it down.
is Brain Dead. Ian, what is Brain Dead all about?
Okay, so Brain Dead
feel like-
is the original title of this movie, but in North America it's called Dead Alive, and it's Peter Jackson, director of Lord of the Rings, directed it. It's a zombie comedy. He directed it for like $40 or something like that.
Hilarious.
It's really, really funny. It's incredibly gross.
It's the grossest movie I've ever seen, but it's hilarious.
It's really gross,
The
but
dinner
it's-
scene is absolutely just gut churningly repulsive.
Yeah, but like there's literally a scene where a kung fu priest fights a bunch of zombies in a graveyard. It's awesome.
It's as good as it sounds.
It's a good time.
And like the gore fest at the end is
Yeah, it's
redonkulously over the
it's
top.
a house full of zombies versus lawnmower.
Yeah.
Matt, have you seen this one? Matt?
Have I seen? No, I've not.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to have to see like half of these, not even half of these movies. I was very glad I saw
this movie
movie
contains a very famous lawnmower scene. Let's just put it that way.
I tried to not be super obscure with the movies. There's one or two like this one that are a little more kind of like, what?
Yeah. Well, I want
I've
to
heard
see
of
it
all these
now.
so
Like
far.
I know it, and this will help. I'll write them down or listen to this podcast or neither of those, but I will check it out sometime.
I'll do something.
Peter Jackson has a funny little cameo in it too. Well, obviously because he directed it and he has to put himself in his own movies. But I think this was done by the Weta effects guys too, right?
It was, yeah.
So interesting to go back and see this movie and see where
Google
they
it,
came.
you guys. There's all sorts of image spoilers in this thing. Oh my god, this looks messy.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's-
pretty.
All right,
Yeah,
Mom,
these
don't
get
Google
slippery.
it. Don't
Yeah.
Google it, Mom.
Oh yeah, disclaimer. A lot of these movies are rated R, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny. Like that one specifically, you Google it, and like the first 3 images, you're like, ugh. I am not hungry anymore.
Yeah, I'd recommend going to IMDb to look up these films just because
Yes.
of spoilers.
The automated Google image stuff.
Speaking of being hungry, do you like Candy Man? Because number C on the list. That's right, number C.
and it is a season 4 candy as well.
Yes, that's right. Is Candyman, starring Tony Todd as the Candyman. This is actually one I've not seen.
I've not seen this either, and
But I knew it was like this is the one where you say Candyman 3 times he appears.
Yeah,
it's a big one.
basically-
This is '92, so it was a big deal with kids in elementary school. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Candyman's so
It's basically like the Bloody Mary thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember,
or
whatever it is.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, exactly right. Stand and say in front of a mirror, and you say his name 3 times, and he's going to show up and he's going to kill you. So don't do it.
Yeah,
Does he have like the hornets in his mouth? Not to
Yeah,
or something.
He's a big
Okay,
bee
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
he's a big bee guy.
Big bees, big on bees.
Lots of
Even though
bees.
why don't they call him honey
Killed by
man?
bees.
I can understand if it was horses. I would punch every bee in the face.
Just laugh.
But yeah, Candyman, and that spun off how many sequels?
I think there's two or three of them.
Oh, Virginia Madsen's in
But the first one's cool. It's like an inner city kind of fairy tale.
Yeah,
It's really kind of
Okay.
neat. Not really great, but it's kind of funny.
there you go. So Candyman, check it out if you're in the mood for bees.
Yeah, gotta love bees and hook hands. There's hook hands and bees, so a lot to
There's
like. in
beads?
Bees.
Beads,
Beads?
beads.
You
Joke's
took
not
the
on
bees.
board.
At D, we have a tie, or we have a slash
Tie?
between Demons, which is this an Italian movie?
This is a real movie. Yes, it's an Italian movie.
Demoni?
Argento?
No, I think it's Bava.
know if that's the only
Lamberto
Italian
Bava,
one
yeah.
we
So
got,
it's a tie between Demons and The Dead Next Door. Dead Next Door is a flick I've seen in your collection for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And we've always glossed over it. Maybe we'll check it out later
No, we won't do that. But
on. Okay, good.
it's-
So it's on this list.
I put it on the list mainly because there's literally a line. Basically, the premise of the movie is zombies have happened. It's been going on for a while. And to the extent that there's literally zombie activist groups out there like PETA, but for zombies.
God.
And they're like,
So it's Zeta.
yeah, they're like, don't.
Oh, wait,
don't-
Very meta
That's
for 89.
yeah, and they're like, don't do it, man. Like, leave them alone. And there's a special police force that goes around killing zombies. And
my God.
at the end, one of the guys gets bitten, and he turns into a zombie. And his partner goes, "Hey, man, you got to come with us." And the zombie guy turns and looks at him and actually goes, "Nah, man, I'm a zombie now." And turns around and walks away.
That's like the end.
It's actually a line in the movie, and I died when it happened.
So Demons,
Oh, man, I'm
this Italian flick from '85. What can you tell us about that?
Well, first I can say that someone was correct with the Argento reference in there because he did produce and write it.
Presents. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
good call, Al. Yep.
Dario Argento. Cool
Thanks,
guy.
Juno.
Thanks, Juno. Demons is a cool little movie where a bunch of people get invited by a person on the street handing out flyers to go see this weird little movie in a movie theater. And they go and they get locked in the movie theater, and the movie comes to life, and people start getting possessed by demons, and they're trapped in the movie theater. So it's kind of a nice play on the trapped in the house thing, but it's
Yeah, but if you're watching it, you're in the movie theater, and you're like, oh no.
like it's coming to life. It's crazy.
Yeah, this could
That
actually happen to
sounds
me
terrifying.
in the movie theater. At E, we have possibly the most seminal horror film of all time,
Which I finally got to
which
watch.
I finally
I want to hear about this.
saw
I was
last
looking forward to
week.
E.
The
So you
Exorcist,
saw, like you said. Oh.
directed by shoot, I don't have it up
Justin
here.
Lin?
William Friedkin.
William Friedkin, yeah. And this
I got
is
saw for some reason. I'm an idiot.
Based on the book by William Peter Blatty. This is...
Did you just see this for the first time, Will?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Well, we watched it on Thanksgiving. It was a good Yeah, it was a good Thanksgiving flick. We were eating while watching it. Good idea.
Yeah, classic.
Don't recommend it, especially if you're eating pea soup. Mm-hmm. What I will say about The Exorcist, fantastic, and it's like outrageously creepy, and the scares all they really come out of nowhere because the film builds a nice long time just being based so in reality. It's so real. Just a real drama, real stoic, and then just crazy stuff just starts happening like seemingly out of nowhere. But one thing for The Exorcist for me is that, you know, you've seen so many shots of Reagan with the crazy makeup on. You've seen so many references made to it in, like, you know, the scary movies or like in This Is the End. So it's one of those things. I felt the same way when I watched The Godfather for the first time. It was great, but to me, there's been so many references made to it that I'm like,
exactly.
I feel like I've kind of seen
and
it
plus,
already,
like, the
just like, in a funnier way.
It's
like if you hear a Weird Al
parody, you've seen so many other movies that use kind of the same.
You're like, it's kind of like the same song Weird Al just did, only it's not as funny.
You're like, I like Weird Al's version better.
Yeah, but it's a terrifying movie, and it builds to a spectacular finish where they. I think it's so wild. Like, they're just working on it for so long, and they just get exhausted and leave. And it's like, we got to take a break. And that, for the audience, is like, yeah, please take a break.
Please take a break.
And
let's take a quick 5, and we'll come back.
And as an actor, I don't understand how you play that, like any of that as an actor. I mean, Max von Sydow is incredible. He was how old was he when he made this movie? He wasn't as old as he looks.
No,
as when he's playing Father Marin, he was.
They make up them pretty good. He was pretty heavily covered in. I think he was like 40, something like that.
Maybe, but he's made to look probably 30 years older than he actually is.
Yeah, they made him look like an old fella.
And Linda Blair's incredible performance as a 12-year-old kid.
Who you feel for the kid? You really do.
You feel for the kid, yeah.
I've never seen this. I got to check it out. It's so embarrassing to say that.
Absolutely, you should check it out. Yeah, invite mom over, turn all the lights off, crack a bottle of red wine, and
what are you getting at here?
I'm saying that she'd really, really hate you for it. She would
get a nice bottle of red ketchup, put it all over your fries.
Hate you so much. But
I'm not going to invite mom over to watch The Exorcist. I think that's pretty safe to say I won't do that.
Quality.
Next is a movie that is a lot of fun. I got to watch this movie again this year. I want to make it my yearly thing. I want to make this kind of like my Christmas story every Christmas that I watch. This is 1985's Fright Night, starring Chris Sarandon. I love Fright Night. It's such a good time. Fright Night's about a kid.
I think it has Anton Yelchin in it, Will. And
yes, and Colin Farrell. You're right. They did remake in 2011,
and it's not bad version either. It's not as.
I want to see that. I heard it wasn't that bad.
It's not too bad. No.
But Fright Night is just so delightfully 80s in their practical effects, and it's about a kid who's obsessed with these midnight monster shows that are hosted by people like Elvira, or and it's hosted by a fellow played by Roddy McDowall, who was the original Cornelius in Planet of the Apes, and he's done a whole lot of horror movies. You know, he's kind of like one of those guys like Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee.
Well, the character name is Peter Vincent.
Peter Vincent, which is a combination of Peter
Vincent, the great vampire hunter.
It's like Peter Cushing and Vincent Price, basically, like a combination of that.
Yeah. But the fellow moves in next door, and the kid starts suspecting he's a vampire. He sees all this crazy stuff. So the only person that he can think of to help him is this guy. So he goes and tracks him down, but he's just an actor who thinks the kid's crazy. And it's a great little flick. It's funny and really, really scary effects in there.
It's funny. It's got some incredible. The werewolf transformation is amazing.
Yeah,
the vampire animations, effects are so cool. It's a really fun flick.
It's a good Halloween party movie.
It's a great Halloween party movie. Yeah, no, it's just a really good time. Next on the list, a really great time. Best horror comedy ever made. Ghostbusters, written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, directed by Ivan Reitman. This was a movie that, when I was a kid, Ghostbusters. I mean, it came out the same year I was born. It came out in '84. And when you're, growing up in the 90s, you're one of two kids, and most kids are both. You're either a Ghostbusters kid or a Ninja Turtles kid. I was definitely a Ghostbusters kid. I loved it, and I I just recently watched the 30th anniversary edition that they released in theaters.
That had quite a run. I thought it was going to be like a day.
I thought it was going to be like I thought it was going to be a week tops, and it stayed in theater for a good little bit. But Ghostbusters, just awesome movie.
I just found out the other day that Bill Murray's role was originally intended for Jim Belushi. John Belushi.
Yeah, I can see.
John Belushi.
So John Belushi probably died before this movie came out.
Sorry.
Right? This movie was made.
Why do they have
And
the
there's
same
the
name?
Same
Ernie
first
Hudson's
initial.
supposed to be Eddie Murphy,
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
which is a totally different movie and possibly somehow better, I would imagine.
I think that might be too much.
He turned it down because he was like, that movie not doing nothing. And then it,
Instead of just,
And then it was the number one movie that year.
did a whole lot of other stuff. That
I'm going to Shrek 3.
I'll wait for Shrek.
But Ghostbusters, a great time. And some pretty scary moments and some surprisingly very good effects, too,
Spooky stuff.
for back in the day.
4
really good
bobber
effects.
covers.
No one steps on the church in my town. Coming up next, we have another Split Skis. We have John Carpenter's Halloween. And then we have Clive Barker's Hellraiser. And Hellraiser is a movie I just got to check out last year.
Very different movie.
Hellraiser is a surprisingly horrifically gory film. Just
it's mayhem.
the way they have the man kind of being rebuilt from the bones out.
Yeah.
That was really something. But Hellraiser is interesting in that the kind of title character, Pinhead, you don't see him too much.
You really don't. I think they're only on screen for... I think it's kind of like a Beetlejuice thing. Where the total screen time of like the main kind of villains is only like a cumulative 6 minutes or something like that. But it's got a real slow, creepy... It's a disturbing movie.
Clive Barker's, he's into some weird bondage stuff.
Anytime Clive Barker shows up, you're like, this is going to be weird.
Yeah.
This is going to be weird.
Get ready for a weird time.
He's on the list again.
Well, he did
yes, he is on the
Candyman,
list.
too, didn't he? Didn't he write Candyman?
I think he might have, actually, now that you mention
We'll double back and check that out, Alex.
Check
But
that
that's
out.
a good...
Don't have to.
Well, I do,
I'll
because
look
it's
into
a podcast. We want to answer our questions as soon as they come up instead of having to correct them the next week like we always have done. And Alex, you are absolutely correct. You wrote the story. Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Nice callback.
That's a point. This is the Halloween quiz, by the way,
An
Alex.
awkward
So far,
white boy dance move.
we were just talking about awkward white boy dancing earlier. That's kind of funny.
That's that. Well, I nailed it.
Now, Halloween's a movie I have not seen the original.
Really?
I've only seen the Rob Zombie remake. Yeah.
Which
No,
I like
I've seen the
too,
original.
but it's way better.
Was Tyler Mane the guy playing?
He was.
Yeah,
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
He was,
Yeah.
In the first one, I think it was someone else in the second one.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I don't think I saw the second one.
Halloween
Actually. The second
too?
one
Kane
of
Hodder or something like that.
the second one of Rob Zombie's version. But
No,
I've seen both versions.
No, it's Tyler Mane in both.
Is it okay? Oh, maybe.
Oh,
I'm
and
thinking
Brad
something else.
Dourif's in it too. Good old Brad Dourif.
Oh, Brad. Horror legend.
Oh, Brad. But Halloween is a flick that spun off how many? Before we talk about prequels, how many sequels did it spin off? Like 6 or 7.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
6 or 7. 3 doesn't count. Part 3 does not count.
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch.
Does that count?
Well, what Carpenter originally wanted to do with it was every movie was going to be a different horror story that takes place at Halloween. So the very, very first
So that's
one,
why it's given such a vague title.
Yeah.
Okay.
The very first one was going to be this. It's going to be like, the murderer comes back. And then the next one was going to be something else. And then the next one. So the first one is sort of this amazing.
Genius.
Right?
I wish let's still take that idea and run with it now. That would be
Those
amazing.
always were my favorite of horror movies. Were anyone where there's multiple different stories, like Tales from the Crypt and Creep Show and all that. Oh, Creep Show should be on the
You
list.
could have a different scary movie every year under the same brand.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to do. And then
Well, they're doing that kind of with VHS, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
sort of.
They're a little bit going with that. So that's kind of the current...
Save your
All
thought
right,
for that too later on the list, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Or
I
what
do-
area are we
it's
talking
okay.
now?
It just means we're on the right,
What point
on the
in the
right
alphabet are we
track.
talking?
We're so keyed in.
Wavelength.
We are totally keyed in. We are insidiously keyed in. Speaking of which,
Hey.
next movie on our list is Insidious, which was a cool movie that started cool and it got really weird to the end and not a good way.
It gets kind of kooky.
No,
towards
it
me.
did get worse and worse and worse.
As I would say, and Alex would call me out on it, it got interesting toward the end.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
first act,
so not
Not
good.
It's not good.
I find if you start showing like the thing you're supposed to be afraid of, and that's just kind of not that scary,
Which
then it
becomes
just
a
really
thing.
takes you out of it.
It's like
that's
with
the thing.
Super 8.
Okay.
The wolf
It's like
spider
Super 8.
alien
You see-
and Super
you
8.
see
You're kind
too
of
much
like,
of
well,
the
there we
stuff.
go. It's done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why
and
the
it
first
always
Alien
ruins
movie
it.
works so well, because you hardly see the
exactly.
And you're not really sure what you're seeing. You're like, is it the kind of thing in its bag?
Oh, they got Insidious Chapter 3 coming out, too.
I know, I'm very excited.
Dermot Mulroney. Oh, good for him.
But the first act of Insidious is one of the
Awesome.
creepiest
Awesome.
atmosphere-building...
You and I,
yeah.
Ian, watched it, and we were like,
we were
let's watch this movie, Insidious.
jumping.
It's new, whatever. We're just like, silent the whole first act. Just like...
Well, they're grown men legitimately screaming at this thing.
anytime I turn on a horror movie, immediate regret. Like, immediate regret. If I'm sitting in the theaters, I'm like, why do I do this? It's not, I don't like it.
Doing this to myself.
What do I...
Seriously. And then, like,
thinking?
the next week, I'm like, well, I might as well sleep with that light on. Why not?
Check under the
Just for
car every
goofs.
time I walk up to it.
I will jump onto my bed as if something's going to grab my feet.
Or maybe you won't go into the ocean, like in this next movie, Jaws.
Oh,
Stay away
in a
from
row
the
now.
beach.
Halloween, Insidious, and Jaws.
Oh yeah, not really the scariest movie, but it did psychologically scar me forever, and I am
You
to
and
date,
many others.
terrified.
That's gotta be
of-
worth something.
I can't be in the ocean. I just can't do it.
Such a great
Really?
opening scene
Yeah.
of that
Period.
movie.
No, done. Like no way.
That's what Lake Placid did to me.
The thought of it creates anxiety. Where I'm just like,
Really?
imagine if you fell off a boat. You know how scary that. Like I can swim, but I'm just like, oh no.
Oh yeah, it totally get in your head. It doesn't bother me that much actually, which is weird. 9 times out of 9, a horror movie scare the hell out of me, ruined me for life. But Jaws didn't really ruin my. Didn't really give me a fear of the ocean or anything. Maybe because I was a bit older when I saw it, so I didn't really have time to develop that psychological.
It's great too because on top of being like spooky and or, well, not really spooky, but on top of having this like element of dread to it, it's just a great movie.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just so important to movies, like
Yeah.
to films, too.
This is the blockbuster, right?
Yeah, and it's old Stevie Spiels that nobody calls him.
Old Stevie Spiels.
Well, he was young Stevie Spiels when he did that. I think he was like 25 when he directed that or something.
Probably had hypertension, just like George did when he made Star Wars.
Oh yeah, he had a panic attack on the last day.
Yeah, that would do it.
Well, a lot of stuff went wrong. Too.
Jaws is a great example of don't show the monster too much. And
Yeah.
that's because they wanted to, and they couldn't because they needed the thing to work.
Barrels,
Yeah.
barrels in the music.
Yeah,
And they
Puts it
lost
in
it at like Jaws 4. But that's
yeah. Oh, and shout out to Sean Williams for the soundtrack.
Yeah, again.
Sean Williams, how got you?
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
step.
Thanks
to
for listening,
this.
John. Loyal listener, John.
Loyal
Williams.
listener, John Williams. Is he still
He
alive?
actually,
Yes, he is.
we are in negotiation with him to score our opening, but
That would be
haven't got to that point
magnificent.
It would be a good score.
Could just throw Jurassic Park in there.
So, I mean, when you have a conversation about Jaws, I really think the next film that comes to mind is Killer Clowns from Outer
Clowns
Space.
from Outer Space.
Absolutely.
Oh,
When do we all
I knew you
know
were gonna
that?
say that?
And
I
you
don't know. I
s-
used to work at Blockbusters there all the time.
And you-
Space, no one can eat ice cream. Is that the?
Yep.
Its tagline is
That's the
"It's
tagline?
crazy." By the way,
that's
if
not
you're
about
going
ice
to
cream.
IMDb this film, make sure you spell clowns with a K. Mm-hmm. Absolutely do that. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Ian, what can you tell us about Killer Clowns from Outer Space that the title doesn't already?
Well, there's a lot to talk about. Basically, they're clowns from outer space.
Yes.
And they come to a small town in a spaceship shaped like a circus tent.
Nice.
And they're
Practical.
They're
I
turning.
feel like those aliens kind of knew what they were doing.
They had a plan. I think they were like, we should work this whole look we have into the thing.
The motif.
And they're showing up on Earth to turn people into cotton candy so they can eat the cotton candy people because that's what they do.
Yeah.
that is a tagline. Well, it says in outer space, no one can eat ice cream.
There you go.
Or in space, no one can eat ice
crazy
cream. I remember
multiple
seeing that
tags.
VHS when I worked at Blockbuster all the time, being like, "What is that?"
It's another one that falls under the category of like you've got to watch it because it's just
And
ridiculous.
it never interested me enough to actually. And I got free rentals, and I still never did it. I was just like, "What is that?" I don't know. Anyway,
there's something to be said about a dude running through a space circus tent with a shotgun, blowing away clowns. It's just weird. It's weird. I mean, they're huge fake prosthetic clowns, right? Like giant. It's actually the same, the exact same costumes were used. They repainted them and they used them in Ernest Scared Stupid for the Trolls. It's the exact same costumes.
Oh, no.
And they spray painted them different colors.
That's a scary movie.
Yeah.
Pure Bolivian maniac. All right. Moving on. Oh, I duffed something here.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. It's wacky stuff. Coming up next, we have another split on the list between the 87 Kiefer Sutherland flick Lost Boys.
boys.
And the Warwick Davis film, Warwick Davis, Jennifer Aniston vehicle, Leprechaun. Where you gonna go, Garth? Where you gonna go? You're gonna go to Ireland?
Oh, no.
Leprechaun, which recently WWE's own Hornswoggle starred as the Leprechaun in the origin story. And Leprechaun is what? He ain't about a little kill leprechaun, runs around, kills people for gold. Yep. Okay.
It's
what?
Is everyone just carrying gold on them? Is that what's happening, or someone pays them the gold after the fact? Or
Does he pull it out of their fillings?
Thank you, sir.
It's his specific pot of gold. There's actually a bunch of these movies. He ends up in Da Hood for 2 movies.
And in space, doesn't he? Is he in space?
Well, of course he ends up in
Yeah.
space. Every horror movie ends up in space at some point.
Yes.
Hellraiser's been there. Jason
X.
there.
Yeah, right.
Everyone goes to space.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's trying to get, his pot of gold, someone took a piece, and so he's trying to get all his gold back. But his weakness in this movie is what I love the most, which is that for whatever, and this goes away in all the other movies, but if he sees dirty shoes, he has to stop and polish the shoe.
That's such a great concept. Why did that go away?
Because he's a leprechaun. So there's a scene where they're trying to evade him, and they throw a box of shoes in the dirt, and they're like running away, and he stops, and it's Warwick Davis, and he goes like, and he's just picking up shoes, polishing them as quick as he can, and just looking at them going like, God, and he's just polishing the
Once I'm
shoe.
done this show, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, you're lucky this
Okay,
is a wingtip.
all of a sudden, this sounds like the greatest movie of all time. I've never seen it.
And
oh my God,
there you
that's
go,
amazing.
Leprechaun moving it up to the must see, and Lost Boys about the cool vampires.
Oh, yeah. Before
That concept
vampires-
never caught on.
No, before they were cool, Joel Schumacher made them cool.
Oh, you did make them cool.
Oh, yes. And in typical
Schumacher
Joel
written all
Schumacher
over it.
fashion, at the opening of the movie, as with all his movies, he finds a reason to have a hugely jacked, greased-up, shirtless dude playing a saxophone. I swear.
Dude's got a type. Dude has got a type.
What's the character that they had on the SNL that John Hamm played? He like busts in and plays the saxophone with his shirt off.
Sergio.
Yeah, something like that. It's like Sancho.
No, it
Something
was
like
Sergio.
Sergio, okay.
Yeah,
Don't ask questions.
Sorry.
Now I'm doubting myself. Talk
think
amongst
Sergio's
yourselves while I
right.
figure this out.
I digress. Moving on, so from sexy vampires to let's go to
Sergio.
Vinnie
I nailed
Jones.
it.
How's Vinnie Jones doing on that midnight meat train of his?
Oh, I saw that.
Another
That was not good.
It's not good, but it's just weird to see Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
in this
And
movie.
Vinnie Jones, like, who's kind of like a well-known dude, just being like this random, quiet stalker dude.
Yeah,
He's the
I don't
juggernaut.
know.
in a Clive Barker movie again.
Yeah.
Weird movie. It just surprised the crap out of me because I saw that I think before Bradley Cooper kind of exploded, and then
It came out like at a weird time. I think they
was
filmed it a
08.
couple of years before it came out or something.
yeah, and they just kind of sat.
Seems
on
that
it.
way.
So that would have come
Yeah.
out after Hangover then.
I think
08?
it came out
I think
right before Hangover. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. After obviously after Wedding Crashers, I think was just
Yeah.
2008. Oh no, so Wedding Crash or The Hangover's 2009, and Wedding Crashers was like 07. So yeah,
So right in the middle.
And this
Right in the
this movie also shares an M spot on the list with the 87 flick 87 Monster Squad.
Yes.
Featuring all your favorites. They're back.
The Monster Squad is
They're part of a squad.
That might actually be the first quote unquote horror movie that I ever did see. It's about a bunch of kids, and Dracula moves to their town and ends up bringing with him the Frankenstein monster, and there's a mummy and a wolf man
Now-
and like a creature from the Black Lagoon.
Now, just because they're all universal monster creatures, sure, we get that. But why are they friends in real life?
Oh, 'cause
It's like they accept their similarities more so than their differences, because that's a beautiful thing.
it is kind of gorgeous, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
I think it literally is just like Dracula putting a team together. Like and all these kids in town have to...
All right, I need the big hairy guy. You over there, Wolfman, come with me.
Yeah, well, because he's oh yeah, that's what it is. He's trying to like open this portal, and all the dark forces will be supreme or something. So they're all
yeah.
drawn to him. They're like, I'm a bad guy too, ooh, and they all sort of show up. But it's great. It's funny. It's a kids movie, but it's also got some spooky stuff in there.
Coming up next, a lot of horror movies came up in '87. This list is a big '80s bias, which I like.
It's good time for
A lot of practical effects. And it was a good time for horror. People just wanted to be scared because they were doing so much cocaine, I guess. I don't know.
But mainly.
And selling stocks. If Wolf of Wall Street is to inform you of anything. But Near Dark is another... it's another vampire flick, right?
Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
Directed that one.
There you go. Ex Cameron.
Yeah, there you go. Director of the Hurt Locker.
Yeah, Oscar-winning director.
Yeah, it's another vampire one, similar in tone, kind of to Lost Boys, where it's a kid and he's like, I don't know what's happening to me, and this girl's like, come on, just come with me. But it's a cowboy sort of thing, like 80s, but it's in like Wisconsin or something like that. And
Go Packers.
Yeah, he ends up driving around in an RV with this little group of vampires, one of whom is Bill Paxton.
He's always popping up in the 80s.
Who's like playing crazy Bill Paxton.
Always popping up in the 80s.
How do I get out of this? Oh, I can't see the next line. But shout out the aliens.
Guns, knives, sharp sticks.
Oh, man. He's, I'd say Bill Paxton's better than all the others.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of the others, the O on the list.
Oh.
That one actually caught me by surprise. I was impressed.
Yes, the others was a very interesting.
That was a creepy movie.
It's spooky, man.
It was.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I had the ending ruined for me before I saw it, which takes a lot away.
So we won't ruin it here for anybody.
Yeah.
Alejandro Amenabar wrote it.
I won't spoil it, but I will say that Nicole Kidman's face looks normal in this movie, which is
it's less hammy.
It's less stretched over a skeleton than it is right now.
She looks less like a weak Terminator.
Yeah, looks.
That's my favorite. That is absolutely my favorite Nicole
That's
Kidman
an
description.
interesting description from Will, which is her face looks less stretched over a skeleton than it does now.
It's interesting because
I don't
I
even
know
know what
faces
to
are
say to
literally
that.
stretched over skeletons, but she looks like she's put her other's money into getting a lot of
work done.
getting a lot of work done.
I haven't seen her recently, I guess.
She's trying to look like she did in BMX Bandits.
So just like we would not recommend you Googling Dead Alive for screenshots, don't Google Nicole Kidman.
No, just as frightening.
It's actually even more so.
It's all right, Toby Keith.
Awesome.
Keith Urban.
Keith Urban,
Toby
yeah.
Keith.
If she was married to Toby Keith, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be
man.
amazing.
That'd be so funny. She was married. Coming up next is another. Little Stevie Spiels teams up with Texas Chainsaw Massacre director Toby Hooper.
That was the worst voice crack I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, well, aren't you glad it's on the air
Forever.
It's never going away.
And
Poltergeist.
so many people listen to this.
Which means chicken ghost, right? In German,
It does.
it does. Yes, it's the Poltergeist.
It's the way you see when they kill all the chickens, the head remains alive for a matter of hours.
Yes,
You
see the
schnitzels resent us for pounding them.
They're very upset about it.
Really
no,
bad
Poltergeist,
accents, but I had to say
starring
schnitzel.
the seminal Craig T. Nelson.
Coach.
They find a ghost in the TV that the girl's talking to. She has that awesome line, "They're here." I remember I watched this years ago.
Burial ground or something like that. Does that have anything to do with it? Or am I
Yeah,
mistaken?
it's
And was
the
it-
dad
Which was
works-
spoofed on Family Guy.
Oh, it's been spoofed by everything. It's another one.
It's another one
like,
that's getting spoofed by
like
a million
Exorcist.
different things, yeah.
You've seen it without having seen it.
Yeah.
And this is one that was this was PG when it came out, right? Because this was pre PG-13.
This is
right?
what I
Yep.
think brought
Helped
on
create it?
PG-13.
This and Temple of Doom, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think.
Well, I think it
Spielberg
was.
had a lot
I thought
to
it
do
was.
with the rating itself.
I thought it was Temple of Doom that brought.
Yeah,
that
you're
on.
probably right.
But
I
and
probably
Poltergeist,
don't
I
know
remember
what you're
seeing
talking
that
about.
recently because they can actually they actually still showed Poltergeist. They showed Poltergeist on TV as recently as a few years ago because it was still just rated PG. So they're like, yeah, we can show this.
Yeah,
No,
there's
you
a
cannot.
pretty. There's a couple pretty nasty bits of business in there. Which,
Oh, when he looks in the mirror and he,
does some business.
that they
Pretty-
spoofed on Family
you
Guy
know.
and he turns out to be Hank Hill.
And one of a kind of a notably cursed production in the fact that a lot of people who were actors or took part in it have passed in odd ways or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, the girl, the little girl, passed
The little
away
girl
not
in
that
it,
long after.
someone else, yeah. It actually comes from a couple different movies, but yeah, it's been part of it. I don't know how
The
legit it is.
Poltergeist curse.
If you believe in curses, which I don't, but it's kind of interesting. It just adds to the
You ask me, if you believe in curses, you're probably crazy. You should probably be quarantined. And the next movie on the list is the 2008 movie Quarantine. This is based on a Spanish, Brazilian
I think it's
flick.
Brazilian.
A
It
men's
is
health
based
article.
on a Bazooka Joe comic strip that came out of the gum.
Oh, Bazooka Joe.
You're always so scary.
No, it's a remake of a pretty cool little. I think it's a Brazilian movie called Rec, like record.
Record,
Yeah, which they couldn't name it this because they made an American movie called. Oh no, man.
They did. I thought they did.
I thought they made an American one, but maybe I'm mistaken.
The American remake was Wreck-It Ralph. Actually, that was the one that was
starring
based
Jack
on
McBrayer
Wreck.
and
John C. Reilly.
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Cool little movie though. It's sort of like supposed to be a found footage kind of thing, where it's a girl touring around with a fire department for the night, and they go to a call, and then the building gets quarantined.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
Oh, that's why they call it.
Oh, that's where they got it from.
I'm discovering this on the air. Oh wow!
Because he's Superman 4, Quest for Peace.
You know what I'm
love
discovering too? I don't know if I missed it. Ian, bring up your list again, because I have a Q and an S. I don't have an R.
List? Oh, no.
I have an R.
Okay.
How about Wreck?
I was going to say, if you don't have an R, we'll just go right into Wreck. But Ian, what's the R? Because Will doesn't know how to write down the alphabet.
My R is Ravenous.
Ravenous.
Which is a Guy Pearce movie that I resisted seeing for quite some time for some reason. Robert Carlyle's in there with him. And basically it's... I can't remember if it's like Civil War era, but it's these guys traveling through the mountains, and the stranger shows up, and no one knows what happened to all the people he was with, and he says something happened, but you get the feeling that he might have ate them all.
What? I want to see this immediately. Why am I not watching? Oh my! I never even heard of this one.
Yeah, I went to school with a cat named Seth, and it's like his favorite movie is Ravenous. He loves it.
See, I
You
thought it
listen
was
to like some Kevin Smith podcast or something? Or do you call
No,
people
Steve
cats
Austin
often?
says cat all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. What are
Sounds
you cats
so
up to?
unnatural coming from
If
your
you say
mouth.
Snoochie Boochies, we're gonna have an intervention.
I got to sound like a lot more. I'd be like, yeah, this is a cat named Seth I went to school with.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It sounds very unnatural coming out of you.
Because
It actually like you went to school with a cat.
I'm so well spoken. You actually thought I meant like an animal, like a little.
Yeah.
Like
I hope there isn't like a random R horror movie that's very popular that we're just.
No, this isn't.
I
This
guess
list
we're
isn't
doing
about.
really
It's not a
popular
popularity
ones and
contest.
unique ones. I
This
mean,
is
it is a
about.
popularity contest.
This is about horror movies. It's a nice balance about discovering something you haven't seen yet.
I think I'm wondering about
Which
S,
you are
because
freaking
S
out
has a
about
lot
this
of
movie.
options here.
S has a tremendous amount of options, and in fact, we do have two. We have the 06 gross out classic Slither.
James Gunn.
Which is
James
James
Gunn.
Gunn. Hey, it's Mr.
Guardians of the Galaxy himself.
Unusual Interplanetary Attack Team director James Gunn. Yeah. And also buddy to Lloyd Kaufman. Yeah. Spent a lot of days in his trauma, and this is like a higher budget trauma movie, really.
Basically, and Nathan
Starring Nathan
Fillion.
Fillion.
It's a funny. It is gross.
It's
And there's
disgusting. But
Banks
it's
in
hilarious.
that?
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael.
Michael Rooker plays
Rooker?
the monster man. He's like a
Yes, he
man,
does.
but a monster.
He gets
tentacles.
very ugly very quickly.
Again, probably don't Google photos.
Don't Google
It's
photos.
a whole
but
bunch of ugly.
But it's hilarious. It is hilarious.
It is a funny movie.
And then Slither / Session 9, which is, I understand, a very creepy kind of flick.
Session 9 is great. It's about a bunch of guys. It's got David Caruso as the lead in it. And it's a bunch of guys who they're an asbestos removal company. And they've been hired to do this, it's like an old mental facility. And they're removing the asbestos, but then people start disappearing and, I thought you were over there. No, where are you? And then people start, showing up a little deader than they were before.
It's always a shame.
A little deader than they were before.
Ain't that a
Hey
kick in
Phil,
the
you
teeth?
weren't that dead
that's
like 20 minutes ago, were you?
I'm like 40% more dead.
Weren't you alive the last time I
You
saw
were a
you?
lot more lively last time I saw you, literally.
I guess.
It's like the end of, that other one, that Bava movie. Where she's like, hey, man, I'm dead now. All right.
No, man, I'm a zombie now.
No,
Nah, man, I'm
zombie now.
Nah, man, I'm dead. Wipe yourself off. You dead.
Coming up next is a flick that I would actually probably wager the documentary about it is likely better than the movie itself.
It is. Yeah.
Apocalypse Now to Start Tower.
This is
this American movie or that American movie or whatever it is?
It's only rated 98 on the bottom 100 on IMDb. And it's the return to Neil Bog classic Troll 2. Directed by another Italian director, Claudio Fragazzo, known for making nothing you've ever heard of before ever. But they're all in English, like Zombie Flesh Eaters 2.
I've actually heard of that.
Meet Him and Die from 1976. But Troll 2 was the sequel to the movie Troll.
And it features no trolls.
No trolls in the entire flick.
It features vegetarian
Goblins.
whose plan, because they're vegetarians, is to turn people into vegetables so that they can eat the people. So they're not really vegetarian.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
It's why
I know that's kind of like why it's in the bottom 100 or whatever, but wow, that makes no sense.
The documentary about it is called The Best Worst Movie Ever Made.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the movie stars a guy named George Hardy, who is this big Alabama kid. He's like a football player, jock kind of guy, who's a dentist now. And basically what he does is he goes around to conventions. This is in the documentary, not in Troll 2. But he goes around to conventions being like, we got this weird movie called Troll 2. Y'all heard of this? Oh, you're missing it, man. You're missing it. You got to come over and watch this movie. There's one scene where I say, you don't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it. And it's so funny. It's like you can't give out of context lines because this movie was kind of discovered by a lot of underground, like, I would say tape swappers or whatever, you know, just like, have you seen this movie? And like people get together and like probably and have drinking games for it and have like big screenings and be like, and they like throw stuff at the screen. It became like a Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of
or the
event.
Room or kind of a bird.
Or the Room, exactly like that. Yeah, where it's like everybody's like, this movie sucks so much. It's so fun and enjoyable.
It's like an Ed Wood movie almost.
Yeah,
like a Plan 9.
Plan 9 from outer space.
So definitely check out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen the documentary either. So I don't know
check
what order should I watch that in.
Just check the clip on YouTube. Just type in "they're eating her."
Yeah,
it'll pop up, and it's a dude with glasses, and that's.
Oh
really...
yeah, no, I know that. Yeah,
yeah. Oh my god!
And Garbage Day.
Garbage Day.
That's from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
We'll have to check that out. We'll do that in our A to Z of Pardon me, of
They're
Christmas
going
movies.
to eat me. Oh.
Oh my god!
Like anyone's actually going to say that? Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Out loud. I'm saying what I'm thinking.
Oh my god.
Coming out next is the flick Undead from 2003. Is this the right one?
Yep.
I found the right one. Ian, what can you tell us about Undead?
It's a really weird Australian zombie movie in which a guy makes a shotgun that is actually 3 shotguns.
Because why buy 2 when 3 will do?
Yes, and that's how, with a few minor alterations, you can turn 1 gun into 5 guns.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's also, you know, it's got that same kind of Dead Alive kind of feel, brain dead feeling to it.
Well, the quote on the cover is the most inventive zombie film since Peter Jackson's Brain Dead from the Fangoria dudes.
It's in that same kind of vein, and it's just, I don't know why, and my apologies to any Australians out there listening, but it's just funny to watch Australian hillbillies deal with zombies. It's just funny to watch that.
And I think Australians know that too.
Right?
Like, this movie's going to be so popular.
They're not hillbillies.
They're accountants. We're the smartest people in Australia. We got to be able to fight these guys.
I was just out on walkabout, and I saw a bunch of these zombies walking over to the farm. I don't know what's going on there.
I think I saw a zombie wallaby over there. He's boxing a kangaroo. It looks real bad.
I
He was
can't
getting
do.
into it with that roo. That zombie in that roo have been at it for a while.
I offered him a Vegemite sandwich, but he didn't take it. Don't know why. It's absolutely ridiculous. Coming up next, Maddie, you kind of mentioned this earlier. I'm going to bring up the wrong one, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not the one I was talking about.
Ian's He's
Who wrote this copy?
threatening to strike me.
Quivering with rage.
We got a little, we call it the old hometown connection.
Yeah.
Mr.
Eisner.
Eisner of the Sir Jason Eisner. He was just knighted the other day, actually. The Queen came to, I thought the Sir Jason Eisner.
And award the member of the Order of Canada for your fine work in Hobo with Shotgun.
Revenge.
And Fist of Death. Featuring a character that comes back to life.
And explains it away with, I don't know.
A lot of miracles in this world. Yes, so VHS 2. Now, why would you suggest VHS 2 ahead of VHS 1?
Well, they were getting closer to DVD, and really didn't know.
It's DVD 7.
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
They're getting in there. It's the wraparound story that explains why you're watching a bunch of VHS tapes is pointless and stupid. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure 3. I think it's only 3 in this one. Short horror movies. And as I said earlier, I love serialized horror movies.
Yeah.
Because you get 3 stories for one, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, this should charge you thrice
That's such
as
a
much.
good way of, inventive way of doing it.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, horror, I think, lends itself to being concise. You know, if you let horror drag on too long, it can kind of fall apart under its own weight, like Insidious did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Or any of those.
yeah.
Well, even like Midnight Meat that was based on a short story.
And it should have stayed a short story.
Yes,
And then there's also kind of the relief of being like, oh, that story's over. And then it's like on to the next thing. You're like, damn it.
Yeah, now I gotta go through
more.
that whole thing again.
Oh, that's right.
Now I got to go through another 3-act horror thing where the first act is like, everything's so idyllic and great. Oh no, the worst thing possible is going to happen. How do they get out of it? Oh, they don't.
But this one, it's got 3 stories. The first one is a so-so one. It's basically a guy goes biking with a GoPro on his head, and a zombie attack happens, and he goes zombie, but he's got a GoPro on his head.
What?
So you're a GoPro on a zombie, basically.
Oh, that's amazing.
The second one, it's
I'll
not
take
that
2
amazing.
of those. That's awesome.
2, please.
The second one is directed by the guy who did The Raid.
Oh, yeah.
With like kind of the same group of actors. So I think they're in like Indonesia. But it's about a group of journalists who go to interview this like weird cult guy. And basically while they're there interviewing him, their end of days occurs. Like they're like, we did it. We brought about the end of the world. And you guys happen to be here when it happened. Really
Good thing they got it on tape.
Yeah. And well, it's cool too, especially because the found footage format works really creepily well when it's a different language.
Yeah.
You know, it just lends a whole other level of kind of like, ew, this is really happening. Oh, man. So that's a cool one. And then the last one is Mr. Eisner's, which he shot in his own house. If you've ever been there, it is funny to see that where you're just kind of like, you just shot this at home. Like, this is,
No one else knows. It's fine.
I know.
Awesome.
And it's an alien attack. It's just kids having a sleepover and aliens show up. And it's goofy, but honestly, it's surprisingly effective. It's just dudes
So
in
excited
alien
to see
suits.
all of these.
And it's a fun little movie, man. Like it's not gonna, replace Citizen Kane anytime soon, but it's a fun little.
I heard it was kind of they were kind of
up
like
in there.
threatening to topple the master.
Turner Classic Movies has been weighing that option for some time now.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we have VHS 2 on loop for 24 hours a day now. It's a war. They're locked in a war. Speaking of war,
That is how It's a Wonderful Life became popular, actually. Some weird licensing thing happened where no one had to pay to put it on TV, so they just put it on every year, and it became like a classic. Because when it came out, no one liked it that much.
Yeah, they're like, what a depressing Christmas movie. Who wants to watch that?
And they put it on every year, and they're like, oh, this one's good. They play it every year. It's like, no, someone screwed up the paperwork, and we just can put this on for pennies on the dollar.
Public domain.
Okay.
Huzzah.
Alex, I had
That's
such
exactly
I
what
had
happened.
such a good segue there that you stepped all over.
Oh, sorry, dude.
But that's all right. I'll
that's
cry
all right.
about it. I'll cry
Everyone
about it
just
right
learned
now.
a little bit. Learned a little bit, so you're welcome. For educating you.
Okay. The next flick is from '89, a movie called Warlock. Ian, what can you tell us about Warlock?
Warlock is simply the best feature film ever made by human beings.
The tagline is Satan has one son.
Yeah, and it's this guy. So basically, it's a warlock from the past travels through time, and he's got a guy who's chasing after him who wants to take him down because evil, and ends up in the future, '89, and they do battle. It's really dumb, like really, really dumb. The effects are not good. The acting is the best kind of over the top like ham fiesta where bad guys were like,
Did you say ham fiesta? I'm hungry.
I did. I'm going to have a ham fiesta.
Bienvenidos a Ham Fiesta.
Followed by a ham fiesta.
Oh, I tell you.
I'm going to make something in the next couple weeks. It's going to be called ham fiesta, and it's going to be incredible. Anyway, sorry. I digress, as always.
Yeah, taking away from the magnificent
Warlock.
And we're going to keep upping the quality, and I can't wait to read. Ian, I'll give you the honors. I want you to read the title of this next movie.
Okay, this is a classic. It's a classic called X, the Man with the X-Ray Eyes. And it pretty much sums itself up right there.
It's the 60s, baby. 63.
It's the 60s.
And it's our good friend Roger Corman.
Yeah, master of quality.
Yeah, master of...
Oscar winner.
I'm going to put... no.
That's true.
You are not lying. Roger's still kicking. He's pretty spry for an old guy.
Oh, man. He's tub thumping, for sure.
As in he gets knocked down, but he gets up again and you never going to keep him down. This guy's he's Beetle.
He's a legend. He is a legend, really. I mean, quality aside, he's fantastic in terms of just the output of work and the careers that he launched.
Just
it's
kick out the jams, buddy.
Yeah.
Roger Corman, man with the X-ray eyes. So this man with the X-ray eyes, use it for evil? He uses it for good? Is he...
No, he uses it for evil.
Oh, he's evil.
What would you use X-ray?
I'd use it for evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really the most effective of tools of evil, really. I can see through that, so... Yeah. Probably give me all the money.
I just wanted you to know, I can see through that. So X, I think it's the lone entry from the 60s on this list.
I believe it is.
And also does very well for itself by, starting with the letter X.
Featuring an X, which explains a good deal of why it is on the list.
Hey, listen, we found an X and we found a Q. That's not easy to do.
It was added, or it was
true.
X-Files. I was like,
yeah.
it's a little lazy.
Files.
Y was not hard to find. I like that you put this one on the list, and you're going to smack me again. It's another movie I've not seen. I know, and it's done by one of my favorite comedy directors of all time, Mr. Mel Brooks. This is Young Frankenstein, and earlier I said Ghostbusters is the best horror comedy of all time. This one is probably one of the best comedies of all time from what I've heard.
It's not a horror movie at
all.
all.
I should correct you. It's Frankenstein, by the way.
Frankenstein.
It's
Frankenstein.
And this is starring the late Peter Boyle.
Yes.
This one, I got to check this flick out.
And Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder is the best ever.
He's the man.
Anything Mel Brooks touches is gold.
Oh yeah, and it's great just to have that. There's the very famous scene from the original Frankenstein where he meets the blind man in the cottage.
Mm-hmm.
And he where he learns compassion, and it's and in this one the blind guy ends up beating the crap out of him because he can't see him, and he's just kind of wandering around, stepping on his toe and hitting him in the head with stuff, and
it's the most silly slapstick you can do.
Oh yeah, it's next level.
It's Mel Brooks through and through.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so
I call Mel B, but
you can't call him Mel B.
I call him
Scary Spice.
I call him Scary Spice.
Well, you could call him Scary Spice because it's two things: pumpkin spice lattes, big hit, right?
Yes, very popular.
And it's a scary time of year. It's October, Halloween. It's scary. It's Scary
man.
Spice.
Creepy times.
Coming up, finally on our list, another Italian horror movie, simply named Zombie.
Yes.
I think the Cranberries made a song about this, didn't they?
It was called Linger.
No. They have a song called Zombie. If you haven't heard it, you should check it out.
The actual song about this is Push It by Garbage.
Friends of the show. Yes, Zombie, which... what makes this different from other zombie movies?
A zombie fights a shark.
Does it actually?
It actually does, and it's actually a man in a zombie suit fighting an actual shark.
That's a brave actor.
Underwater.
How strong is that zombie suit makeup? Not at all.
Not super strong.
So it's actually like if you are a big fan of Jaws, you're a big fan of Dawn of the Dead or something, watch Zombie. Combines the two things.
You should also be aware of the fact that it's done by a gentleman named Lucio Fulci, who is, they called it one of the godfathers of gore, along with, his name's escaping me now, but there's a whole scene about it in Juno, where she's like, "Oh yeah, Lucio Fulci," and he's just like, no, you gotta watch this guy. He's the real guy.
He's a real guy, yeah.
But Fulci's movies, super, super, super grisly stuff. But really creepy. I love the Italian soundtracks to horror movies. There's a band, I actually got to see them last year, called Goblin, and they're a synth band from Italy, and they did a ton of music for like all sorts of stuff. I don't know that they did this one, but just that style of...
There's one very specifically you said they did the soundtrack of. You're like, I'm going to see this band called Goblin. They did the soundtrack to...
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. There you go.
Which, this movie, the reason that, if you look it up on IMDb, it's called Zombie 2, is Dawn of the Dead was released in Italy as Zombie.
With no E, just Z-O-M-B-E.
Yeah.
Z-O-M-B-I.
And so they released this movie and called it Zombie 2 because they were trying to capitalize on how popular that one was.
So it's kind of like the Troll 2 of Italy.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with... Oh, I guess it has zombies in it, but it's not much to do with the first one.
A lot of zombies, but another, again, it's one of sort of the big classic sort of zombie movies.
Yeah.
Again, not for the faint of heart, that one. It's
Mom definitely check it out.
Yeah, don't even actually Google image search that one because there's a pretty good chance you'll see some ocular mayhem.
Yeah, that's what that's famous for.
Yeah, it's a really famous bit in that. But yeah, really, if you're a little more intense and you want something kind of disturbing again, then there you go.
There you go. Well, it's that time of year. We've presented 26 movies, and one of them has 3 movies.
10 days to check them out.
And you have 10 days to check them out. November 1st, you can't watch a single.
And if
Don't even think about
Don't
it.
even try.
No. Or a grill will crawl out of your TV.
No, that's great. I mean, for me, didn't go with the status quo. Kind of went off book, which I like.
Well, this is why I recruited
that's
this
why
man.
we
He's got a mind for the known
pro.
and the unknown.
Yeah, you do.
Literally, is a pro. He's not an amateur.
you do.
He's a pro person. But what are your favorite horror movies? Tweet us. I'm at William C. Vaughn. He's at... I'm pointing to Ian, so don't answer this, guys. He's at...
I'm at Ian Stewart Hanlon.
Tweets all the time. Alex, we can find you at...
Well, I just want to make sure people use the right hashtag when they tweet us their favorite scary movies.
I know, but I'm going to give you all your names, and then I'll
Okay.
come up with a great hashtag.
Evonix.
And Matt... we won't even spell it. We're not spelling it. Matt, where can we find you on the Twittergram?
At MP Vaughn.
At MP Vaughn. So what hashtags do you use?
Well, my thing was, hey, hashtag, hey, Triple Threat Podcast. This movie really, 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 really scared me a lot.
That's 5 reallys?
Tweet us with that. Yeah, 5 reallys. Hey, Triple Threat Podcast. This movie, 5 reallys, really, 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 really scared me a lot.
Okay,
And
so
then
tweet
tell
us
us what
that.
movie that is.
If you have a movie that's really scared you, like really, 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 really scared you a lot, tweet us that, and we'll be...
Use the it's a mad, 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 mad world hashtag that's been coming up.
Because Twitter, a program designed for 140 character communications, definitely designed for these awesome
Need to use all these enormous
hashtags. So
Dickensian hashtags.
use the hashtag, hey, Triple Threat Podcast. This movie really, 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 really scared me a lot. And we...
It fits, by the way. I just had to double check.
It does fit?
It leaves more characters than I thought it did, actually. It works.
Yeah,
My
I'm going to
favorite horror
spend...
movie of all time is The Shining.
Oh, yes.
I know
Yeah.
that's lame. I know that's lame.
There's
but
No, it's not lame.
about that.
It's
kid
not
going
lame at
around the
all.
hall. Oh, and he turns the corner every time.
Have you ever seen Room 347?
Yes, the documentary.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot.
Is that what it's called? I saw one where it's like a bunch of different theories on what.
Yeah, that's the
it-
one.
Yeah. Some I like, and some you're just like, you're clearly a lunatic. But
I
okay.
love it, where it's just like, it's his admission to faking the moon landing.
Yes, exactly. And you're like, no, it's not. But okay.
He's wearing one of those
Whatever,
aluminum
man.
foil hats that Weird Al sang about.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I'm spending the rest of the day watching horror movies. It's a good time. Reader beware, you're in for a scare. Shout out to R.L. Stein. Thanks a lot for chilling with us this week, everybody. Use the hashtag #HTThePodcast. This movie really, 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 really scared me a lot. To discuss your favorite horror movies. Rate and review us on iTunes. Use our Amazon link whenever you do Amazon shopping. They kick back a few bucks to the show and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Also, it's a lie.
A single cent of that. Oh, it's a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie.
Oh. I have to give you all my financial info.
That's one of those fibs. I heard about those.
So last time we did, or maybe we'll save this for next week for our actual Halloween Memories show, but last week we talked about what...
Are we doing Halloween memories next week?
well, we are now. Last week we talked about, it was Thanksgiving, we talked about what we're thankful for. This week, what scares you? What scares you?
Matt,
Matt,
like you're going to close off the podcast and then just.
Now you're doing this.
this is what we're closing.
I'm
with.
gonna save that for next week because I don't have anything off the top of my head. To be honest with you, let's save that for next week.
All right. So
And
next
not
week,
to dismiss, but I really don't. I don't know, Matt. Do you have anything that
I got
actually
nothing
scares
right
you?
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
well,
Credit card interest. You know, stuff like that.
Not like
But in terms of-
stupid adult stuff. Like actual scary stuff.
Ice cream headaches.
Actually, not fond of
People
spiders.
walking to. I'm not. They don't scare me though.
Really, there's one behind you right now.
Okay. They actually don't really bother me as much as they used to because I have a basement apartment. I see them all the time. We hang. It's like, what's up? It's like nothing.
Well, spiders
probably
literally
don't
They scare me
hang.
because they really seem like they have somewhere to be, and it bothers me.
Yeah, where are the spiders going? Like, where are they? Just like, I gotta go back to the.
And where have all the cowboys gone while we're at it?
Oh, thanks. What her name is? Cole.
What
Deborah
it
Cole?
is.
Yeah, what it is.
Sure. I don't know.
Matt, if you can go out on that song, I'd be impressed.
Oh, yeah. Go out on that song.
All right.
Nope.
Most apropos closing song. bunch of horror movies, and then where have all the cowboys gone?
Anyway, thanks for listening, folks. Enjoy some flicks. Use the hashtag, and we'll see you next week.